What's up, sports peeps, and welcome to All Sports Media Team Presents Triple B episode 16. This week we're calling it Bombs and Buckets. And we had a little of all of that this week. And before we get into all that madness, and I use that word a lot today because March Madness is on the way. So that's part of the buckets. Right below me, we got my dude Gilbert, A plus Asensio. What's going down, Gilbert?
Yo, ready to get the show going.
Hell yeah, man. It's been a crazy week, and a crazier week is coming right next to me. This dude's got to bounce it a little bit, so we're going to try to get started early. My boy right there, the cameraman himself, George Ocholo. What's going down, George?
Not much, man. Not much. Long day, but yeah, like she said, let's get this show going.
Hell yeah, my brother. All right, gents. Normally I give a quick preview, but we're going to go ahead and just jump right into it. Bombs and buckets. Bombs were being dropped in the UFC this week, and we had UFC 259 last Saturday, I believe it was. And man, the three main events were ridiculous, and there was controversy, and there were tap outs, and it was a great pay-per-view overall. The three main events was Jan versus Sterling for the bantamweight title, Amanda the Leona Nunez and Megan Anderson for the featherweight title. And then, of course, Israel Adesanya moving up a weight class, going after the light heavyweight title against Blachowicz. So the first main event of UFC 259 was Jan versus Sterling. Jan coming in as the champion. Great match. Again, it's 5 rounds in UFC. Great match, really good, but with a really controversial ending, which really sucks because these guys had a big buildup going into this match. And I sent you guys what happened. Jan had the upper hand. He got Sterling down in the third round. Got Sterling down to a knee, and you could hear the ref say, man down, man down. And in UFC, if somebody say man down, you're supposed to back up. You're not supposed to touch anything. Jan looks over to his corner, and I believe they're Russian, and they shout out in Russian, go for it. So he lays back and nails a knee right into the side of the head of Sterling. Sterling goes down like that. So of course, like, oh my God, that just happened. Everybody was in shock. Everybody was like, oh my God, that just happened. What do we do, right? So they talk it over, and it took a while. It took a little while with officials going in and then coaches talking, and it was big. Sterling was down for a long time. I'd say a couple minutes he was down. Eventually, he was able to get up, obviously concussed, obviously messed up. And Dana White pretty much told Michael Buffer, the announcer, hey, it's a disqualification. It's an illegal kick. The ref called him down. He kneed him in the head. This match is over. Sterling is the new bantamweight champion. So it sucked, man. It sucked because it was a great match. And then they had all this cool buildup, and these guys don't really like each other. And then the fact that Jan took the cheap shot.
Yeah.
And then the way that Sterling won, you'll see the picture. I'm going to move in just a minute. So Sterling is your new bantamweight champion. So that's how it ended, with the disqualification in UFC. You don't see that very often. So they give him the title. I'm going to try and move out of the way here. Look at his face. Look at his face.
Mm-hmm.
He was not happy. Not only that, normally when you win a title, they put the UFC title on you, whatever level it is, and you raise your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was pissed. He rips it off and he threw it and left it laying in the middle of the octagon. He's like, I don't want to effing win like that. I didn't want to effing win like that. That's not the way I came in. That's not the way I wanted to effing win. And he was pissed. He was crying. He dropped to his knees, started crying. It was crazy. So, and that was one of the 3 main events, you guys. That was freaking crazy. The match after that is the one we were all talking about. My girl, Amanda the Leona Nunez. This girl's dominant. Nobody can touch her. She is amazing. She's a double belt champion. She went to defend her featherweight title against Megan Anderson, who's way taller, way bigger than her. And Amanda dominated, you guys. I don't know if you saw the highlights. Amanda dominated. Amanda absolutely beat her. Took her down. She had her in a Kimura, which is like an arm lock. And then she got her into an arm bar, and then she eventually tapped out. So that was that match. And then the main event was for the light heavyweight title. Again, Israel Adesanya moved up a level from lightweight to light heavyweight. and he was going up against someone way bigger than him. You know, he's like right at the border, and he was fighting Blachowicz, who was the light heavyweight champion. That one went all 5 rounds. And honestly, Adesanya, who came in undefeated, mind you, okay, 29-0, he only won like 1 of the 5 rounds. So Blachowicz walks out still the light heavyweight champion and ends the 29-0 undefeated streak of Israel Adesanya. That was
Oh shoot!
nice.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think hearing that? I mean, just if you're thinking, we all said Israel Adesanya was going to win. Gilbert, if you hear this, what do you think?
Oh man, just for him to end the streak, that's something big. At by itself, right there, that's something big. So, just wow, man, I'm impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. And Gilbert or George, Amanda the Leona Nunez, dominant as always.
Yeah, it just shows like how much of a worth ethic she has, like preparing for this fight.
Mhm.
Yeah, like you said, like she ended what a 29 win streak against her the opponent streak. So yeah, like Gilbert said, that is pretty big because it shows that how confident you are going forward.
Mhm.
And yeah, sky's the limit for her.
Absolutely. The undefeated streak was actually Adesanya,
Oh,
but
Adam
the
Sandler.
guy, but
Okay.
Amanda, nobody can touch her. Dude, she beaten Cyborg. She beat Holly Holm, who beat Ronda Rousey. You know, she's just absolutely dominant right now. And there's rumors that Rose Namajunas is coming up, so she might be coming at Nunez next. But I don't see her dropping the titles until she retires, personally. Speaking of
She's
titles,
that good.
what's up? What's up?
She's that good.
Dude, she is that good. She can definitely retire as a champion. I 100% believe that. Okay, so we talk about dominance, we talk about craziness, we talk about brutality. There is no match more brutal in wrestling history than this one right here, the exploding barbed wire match. You can see, look at this chaos.
Wow, that's
Those are barbed
intense.
wire. There's only one set of ropes that are not covered in barbed wire. There was tables covered in barbed wire. There was paddings covered in barbed wire. It was insane. That was the main event, so we're not going to get to that just yet. The pay-per-view was AEW Revolution. We kind of gave our predictions last time, but I'm just going to go through them really quick. The only way to explain it is brutality, big risks, a legend, a WWE legend came to AEW, and barbed wire. The first match was Dr. Britt Baker, who was actually the girlfriend of Adam Cole, which is kind of cool. And Japanese superstar Ito, who's like kind of like the Britney Spears kind of character. It's kind of hilarious. They defeated Riho and Thunder Rosa, and Thunder Rosa is known from Lucha Underground, if you've ever watched Lucha Underground. That was a pretty good match. And they cheated. Of course, Dr. Britt Baker is a super heel. She came out, hit her with the crutch. I think Dr. Britt Baker will be facing Shida very shortly for the women's title. Speaking of that, Shida defended the women's title, and she won against the women's tournament winner, Ryo Mizunami. So I've seen a Britt Baker-Shida match coming soon. The tag team match we were all talking about, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, took on local guys from Rancho Cucamonga, took on MJF and Chris Jericho. And MJF, Chris Jericho, they've been having issues going into this match. And there was a lot of tension throughout the match because they didn't work well together. And the Young Bucks ended up walking out champions, still AEW Tag Team champions. And then there was some tension towards the end of that match. So that could push to an explosion of the Inner Circle, no pun intended. Inner Circle is a big heel faction in the AEW. Then they had the Casino Royale Battle Royal for the #1 contendership for the tag titles. I'm going to go through the teams super quick. Natural Nightmares, which was Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall. Dark Order is 5 and 10. Santana and Ortiz, Seidel Brothers, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson from the Dark Order. Gun Club, Billy Gunn's boys. Cesar Bononi and Pretty Peter Avalon, who's also a local boy. Varsity Blondes, one of those Varsity Blondes is Brian Pillman Jr., the son of the late, great Brian Pillman. Bear Country, Jurassic Express, including Jungle Boy Jack Perry, who's the son of Luke Perry from Beverly Hills 90210. Butcher and Blade, Private Party, Death Triangle, which is Ray Phoenix, and Pac, P-A-C, he's also Neville from WWE. Silver and Reynolds from the Dark Order. It came down to the very end, two young studs going at it. The Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, representing Jurassic Express, and Phoenix representing Death Triangle. And Phoenix is the definition of wrestling. If you get a chance to see Ray Phoenix, look up his stuff. The dude is insane. Ray Phoenix pulls out the W. Death Triangle will get a tag team title shot against the Young Bucks very, very shortly, and it's going to be one of the best tag team matches of the year. Quote me on that. Yo.
Is Ray Phoenix the guy that wears a mask too?
Yes, kind of looks like Kalisto.
Okay, yes, I seen him. He does have a
ridiculous.
Just has some talent.
Yeah, he's really, really, really good. And then, like you said, Sheeta defended her title. Rusev, Miro and Kip Sabian took out Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. There's rumors that Chuck Taylor will be taking on Miro in the next pay-per-view, or probably on Dynamite, it looks like. And if Chuck Taylor wins, then he's free of Miro for good. If not, Chuck Taylor will become Miro's servant like he was before. Three main events actually. Hangman Adam Page defeated Matt Hardy in the big money match, and now he gets a quarter of Matt Hardy's earnings for the year. Ladder match for the TNT title. Scorpio Sky defeated Penta Zero, Cody Rhodes, Lance Archer, Matt Caster, and a mystery man, which ends up being Ethan Page from ROH. He's pretty dope. Scorpio Sky, another local guy, got the victory. He'll face Cody Rhodes at Dynamite. He faced Cody Rhodes at Dynamite this week, which we'll talk about really super quickly. Legend, a finger quote on Legend. Paul White, known as Big Show, now Paul White, said he had a legend coming. He brought out Christian Cage, also known as WWE Christian. So Christian is now at AEW. I don't know where they're going to push him, who he's going to face, what he's going to do, but Christian Cage is now officially All Elite. So
I should have seen this one coming.
Bro, I know it's kind of a letdown, man. I thought it was going to be Kurt Angle. I thought it could have been someone like that. The rumor was it was either Kurt Angle or Christian. I guess Christian had a falling out with WWE after the reunion show. And then they did Rumble.
Yeah.
Rumble. He did his Rumble. Mm-hmm. He did an appearance, and that was it. He was done. So arms keep disappearing. Sorry.
Nice.
Yeah. The street fight between Team Taz, which was Brian Cage and Ricky Starks, two up-and-coming awesome fighters, against the TNT champion Darby Allin and the Legend Sting. Great match. If you didn't see it, AEW Revolution 2021 street fight. You have to see it. You must see it. It was insane. They were flying over everything. They were hitting brick walls. They broke freaking bottles over each other's heads. Darby Allin did a suicide dive into like a giant pit that you didn't even know was there. Like the match was really good. Sting brought out his trademark bat. It was really, really cool. Sting and Darby Allin got the victory. All right, exploding barbed wire match. This match was ridiculous. I cringed numerous times, and I used to watch ECW. I was cringing. You can see the picture. That's Kenny Omega getting knocked into barbed wire. Okay? And
that does look like a ECW type of fight.
It was insane, bro. So every time you hit the ropes, the thing goes boom, it explodes, and you hit barbed wire. You get clipped in barbed wire.
Oh,
man, bro. Moxley and Omega gave it everything they had. Everything they had. They fell through tables with barbed wire. They ran into the corners with barbed wire. They got stuck in barbed wire. He did barbed wire to Moxley's face with the board with the barbed wire wrapped around it. Oh my God, there was blood everywhere, bro. That's all I gotta say about that. So if you're
I'm just cringing while you saying this.
Right? You gotta watch this match though. Like if you're a wrestling fan, and it like I said, it was Moxley's send off, or so I thought. The match was insane, and it was good because it was just the two of them, just going at it. But in the end, the freaking Good Brothers, freaking Luke Gallows, or whatever the hell his name is, and Carl Anderson come out. They interfered. They make it so that, because it's no DQ, obviously, Omega ends up getting the victory. So Omega is still the AEW champion, but it gets better. There was a clock, I believe, 30 minutes. I think it was a 30-minute time limit. At the 30-minute time limit, the ring is supposed to explode. And if you ever watch Japanese wrestling, they actually explode. So he's in the ring. Shoot. Moxley's beaten senseless. They hear the 9, 8, 7, and you just see him book it, right? Moxley's laying in the middle of the ring. 5, 4, and you see Eddie Kingston come out. Mind you, Eddie Kingston and Moxley were feuding, but they're friends from the past. So Eddie Kingston comes in, covers up Moxley like a parent would to a child if they're covering them on something. Covers them out. 3, 2, 1. Sound effect. And then like everybody's waiting for this humongous explosion. Like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And it just like sparklers in the corner and like a poof. That was it. And everyone's like, what the just happened? Like I thought it was a botch. I really did. A botch is like when something messes up. So I thought it was a botch. It turns out, I'm just gonna go quick through Dynamite. It turns out that Wnba made the ring on that on purpose to freak out Eddie Kingston, who goes through panic attacks and stuff. It was crazy. So you go to Dynamite, they say that they did that on purpose, that it was supposed to do that, which sucked because I was waiting for that huge explosion. I was waiting. I thought it would be really cool. Another thing, Moxley got on the mic after it went off of air, thanked all the fans and stuff. And he said Wnba makes a exploding barbed wire ring like a bitch. So I thought that was kind of I thought that was hilarious. But what I didn't expect, I thought Moxley would be sent off. His wife is 5 months pregnant or something like that, and they're about to, have a baby. Moxley was on Dynamite. He came on Dynamite with Eddie Kingston. They're pissed off. They're ready to go after the Good Brothers. They're ready to go after Kenny Omega, so we'll see where that goes. Another thing that happened on Dynamite, MJF got kicked out of the Inner Circle with Jericho and Hager and Santana Ortiz, that huge group, the big heel group. They kick out MJF. He just laughs. He wasn't mad. He wasn't sad. They went to jump him. The lights go out because he says, oh, I got my own group or something like that. And out comes FTR, which is the Revival, if you guys remember the Revival. Wardlow, which was the guy who came out with MJF, big bodyguard guy. Tully Blanchard, who's a WWE Hall of Famer. MJF, and Shawn Spears, who is Ty Dillinger. Shawn Spears comes out. They beat the crap out of the Inner Circle. They destroy Chris Jericho, and they left him laying in a pool of his own blood. That's how Dynamite went off the air. It was crazy. Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah, exactly. Absolutely nuts. And this new faction, they don't even have a name yet. This new faction that MJF has made, they're just going to be straight dominant. They're going to be a group of dominant superstars. That's all I'm going to say. Speaking, gentlemen, of dominant superstars, this past week, I believe it was on Sunday, we had a bunch of superstars all together at the NBA All-Star Game.
Mm-hmm.
All three of us, all three of us were kind of iffy on this. Mm-hmm. We were like, is it going to be good? Are they going to go all out? What's going to happen? Let's not jump into the game just yet, gentlemen.
All right.
I want to talk about what happened before that. Before the game, literally like the day before, I think it was, they came out with the news that Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid were against COVID protocol, we'll say, and they got pulled from the game. So this is where Gilbert would jump in and be like, these stupid motherfuckers, right? But Simmons and Embiid get pulled from the game, so LeBron Durant wasn't even there, So, I don't even know who you put as their captain, but LeBron's like, okay, well, now I got to shuffle my team, It
was actually Jason Tatum that replaced him.
Tatum was the captain. Okay, so you got Tatum and LeBron oh, crap, we got to move stuff around, So that was huge going into the game. So before that, again, I kind of crapped on this. I'm going to go back on my word because it was actually pretty good. I said that they were just going to rush through everything. It wasn't going to be exciting. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. The skills challenge, Domantas Sabonis took the W in that one. George, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, Domantas Sabonis, he's always been like a stud. People don't give him enough credit on how good he really is, and people underestimate him. So I think he took that personally. Prepared, did whatever you have to do to win the skills challenge. So so far it's been like a big man's dominant lineup for the skills challenge, because it used to be it used to be like owned by the guards, but now the bigs are just coming up.
Yeah, I agree. Gilbert, do you want to talk about that real quick about Sabonis?
Oh yeah, man, definitely caught me off guard. Like George mentioned, not a lot of people give him his respect, but I did not expect him to pull it off. I was definitely hoping for Randall or one of the other guys, but damn.
I honestly thought that Chris Paul might take it because like he's quicker, but the bigs show how skillful they could be to like not get underestimated.
But that's good for them. Okay, so we'll talk. We're just shortening it up a little bit and get George in with a lot of the NBA today. We then had the 3-point challenge. Let's be real. Did we think anybody besides Steph Curry was going to walk away with this title? Gilbert, how did you feel going in watching the 3-point challenge?
Well, I mean, I was hoping Tatum would have pulled it off, and he did have a good first round. But towards the end, man, just Curry lit it up. He does what he does, and he lit it up, man. And man, to win the way he won, I gotta tip my hat off to him, man. He's on another level.
His confidence is ridiculous. There's no other way to say it. George, you want to talk about Curry real quick?
Yeah, like when I saw like who was in the 3-point contest, it was just a no-brainer that Curry's gonna take it. But what I was surprised about is how well Mike Conley was shooting. Like he was streaking in that final round. So it's like, okay, I was like, okay, Mike Conley has something over here. It's like then as soon as Curry, so like it wasn't until Curry went to the last rack when I said, okay, Curry pretty much got this because he's not missing like 2 or 3 shots in a row. So but like I'll be honest, like to be honest with you, I thought Damian Lillard should have been at the 3-point contest, to be honest with you, because one, he's proven that he could shoot from the logo. He's proven that he has unlimited range, and people need to give him his respect because I feel like he got snubbed by the 3-point contest as well as him being in that all-star starting lineup. So that's what I say. In my opinion, Damian Lillard should have been in it because if he was in it, I guarantee you, in my opinion, it was going to be a much better matchup.
Speaking about Damian Lillard, he's the one that actually ended the game, the All-Star game that evening with that
exactly, exactly, and he told the crowd, y'all should have put me in the 3-point contest. It would have been like a better competition.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the game in just a second. We got one more competition before that. It was actually at halftime. This is the one that really got me because you guys heard how pissed I was. I was like, "Are you gonna put slam dunk contest in the freaking halftime? Like, it's gonna suck, right?" Well, they extended halftime, so that was the first good thing. They extended halftime, and it was actually pretty good. You know, Anthony Simons took the dub over Obi Toppin and Cassius Stanley with that kissing the rim thing. That was pretty cool. But talk to me about what was exciting to you, Gilbert, in the slam dunk contest.
Well, it wasn't. To be honest, it wasn't what I really expected because we had better slam dunk competitions throughout the year. With Levine, Zach Levine, and other superstars that has been in it. But man, these young guys they got hops, man, and they definitely surprised me with some dunks that they did that night, and I didn't know who was gonna pull it off though.
Yeah, George, go for it. What did you think about the slam dunk contest?
I think the slam dunk contest was good, but it wasn't like the best slam dunk contest I've seen. Obviously, like I've seen some better ones. Obi Toppins had some good dunks, but because like he's a big, like they don't get teams are not going to give him enough credit because like sometimes size does play a factor. Like look at Anthony Simons, he's about 6'3", 6'4", and he jumped. Yeah, so like I think like I didn't expect him to win, but like I'm pretty sure he was like the runner up. So like hats off to Simons for winning the slam dunk contest.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And they had a pretty cool judging panel. They had a D Brown, Josh Smith, Jason Richardson, Spud Webb, and the hometown Dominique Wilkins. I thought it was cool that they brought back former winners to be the judges. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll jump into the game really quick. It was Team Durant versus Team Lebron. Obviously, Durant got hurt. Surprise, surprise. Tatum took over. Tatum took over. What I thought was kind of cool, I think they did this last year. They did quarter by quarter. And every time you win a quarter, your team's charity gets so much money, I believe it was. And I thought that was kind of cool. Team LeBron took all 4 quarters, which kind of sucks. But
Yeah.
hopefully they gave Team Durant something, But the game was really good. It was exciting. I'll throw my 2 cents in, and then I'll let George jump in. Curry was straight up on fire. I mean, no pun intended. Curry was on fire. He was hitting everything. He was hitting from the logo. He was hitting from the logo, didn't he? Hit from the logo.
He did it. Him and Dame.
Yeah, him and Dame. I mean, Curry was turning away after he shot it. Him and LeBron were just having fun. Like, you could see it.
Mhm.
And Giannis was killing it as well. We'll get into that in a second. But I say Curry was on fire. Zion, on the other hand, was ice cold. Like, he was missing like crazy. And then, of course, you got the dude behind me right here, the All-Star Game MVP, Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Dude, that guy was a human highlight reel that night. It was awesome, and I absolutely loved it. George, give me your take on the game.
I actually love the game. Giannis had the perfect game, so let's give a shout out to him. He really deserved the MVP. He did not even miss a shot in the game. Like, he went 14 for 14 or something like that. He was 100%. Curry did his thing. Dame did his thing. And even though LeBron James didn't play that much, I'm actually glad that he didn't play a lot, because he needs to rest up. Because before the season started, they only had 71 games for them to rest up their bodies and stuff. So that was pretty cool. Let the young guys take over the show, because we already know how good LeBron is.
Yeah.
And I mean, I thought the game was pretty good. I wish it was kind of closer just to make it interesting, but I think they did the NBA did what they could in terms of them putting this all-star event together.
I'm just glad that LeBron went all out. He didn't play much, like you said, but he did go all out. Because originally, remember what he said? He said, "I'm going to be there I will be there physically, but not mentally." And that wasn't the case. You could tell they were all having fun, which I thought was really, really cool. Gilbert, give me your take, bro.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that. I believe once he was with the guys, I think he just decided he wanted to have fun with them, and
there you go. Okay.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
And what's it called? Yeah, the game was pretty fun. It was a high scoring game, man.
Oh yeah,
I'm not used to these high scoring games.
Exciting.
But the last past All-Star games, they've been pretty high scoring games. But that's the difference between the NBA now and before, man.
Yeah,
a lot more 3-point shooting.
Yeah, and then they put the charity thing in there now, so you have something to play for.
Yeah, definitely.
I talked about what stood out to me. George talked about what stood out to him. What stood out to you?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, obviously the way Zion was playing, he wasn't playing what I expected him to play. He was missing a lot of easy dunks that the guys were feeding him.
Oh, yeah.
But that stood out to me. But I think it's just because it was his first All-Star game.
Yeah, it was nerves.
I think it was the nerves.
Oh, it is his first. I keep forgetting he's that young. I tend to forget.
20?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. But it was a great game. I mean, overall, it was a really great game, and I'm glad that they went all out as much as they did. So with that said, we'll jump out of the All-Star game. Got a couple little more basketball news, because I know Georgia's got a jet. Blake Griffin, this one was crazy. And it kind of scares me. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Blake Griffin is going to the powerful Brooklyn Nets. Talk to me, George. This one's scary.
Go ahead, George. You go first.
Man, they just built a super team down in Brooklyn. You got KD, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, DeAndre Jordan, and now Blake Griffin. I mean, if Blake Griffin is half the player he was when he played for the Clippers, I don't see anybody stopping them in the East, let alone they could possibly win it all. But I'm a Laker fan, so I'm gonna be a little biased that until Lakers go down, I think Lakers are the team to beat only because they won the chip. However, the Brooklyn Nets have something to say about that. So
Yeah.
it'll be a really good. It'll be really interesting to see how these teams play out throughout this rest of the season.
It's going to be crazy. I mean, if we do beat them, it's going to be in 7. There's no way we're doing this in 7. Not
Oh
even
no.
No
Shoot,
way.
man, that would be like the greatest accomplishment if Lakers could like take over that powerhouse team.
Well, we're not a firehouse right now ourselves, but we'll not jump into that just yet. Gilbert, you saw the news break Griffin to Brooklyn. What went through your head?
I loved it, man. I love that move. I mean, I knew it was coming just because one of his buddies over there, DJ.
You called
and,
it. You called it.
So I love the move, but I could actually see Blake Griffin playing a similar role what Amari Stoudemire played when he was in Phoenix. Okay. Something like that. Pick and roll, cut to the basket, slam dunk, stuff like that. I know he hasn't dunked in a while, but I think Steve Nash is gonna probably want him to do something like that. So yeah, I love the move. Like George said, I think they're the team to beat in the East. The West is something different, man. If they, I don't know, man. The Lakers are still the chance for me, but if they make it out the East, it's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be,
and we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, that, like you said, you got that super team over there, and it's funny because they're not number 1. Philly's number 1 right now. And people keep forgetting that. And in the West, Utah's number 1. I actually have the ranking. I have the standings for first half right now that we're going to do in just a minute. But people forget that. So it doesn't matter in basketball. If you're 1 through 8, you have a chance to win. And that's all that matters going in. We go from talking about a super team to a super dude. Kobe Bryant, a card sold, I believe at an auction for Kobe Bryant rookie card, $1.8 million.
Oh, shoot.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely nuts. Yeah. Gentlemen, we're going to go real quick from talking about someone buying a card to someone giving away priceless items to help a charity. And you'll know in a minute, I start talking about this guy, what it is. A Hall of Famer sold his championship rings, his trophies that he had, and donated them to help with youth education. I'm talking about the one, the only, the Hall of Famer, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, man, really?
Wow.
Yep. He sold.
That sounds like something Kareem would do, man. He's just that type of guy, man. He's so nice, giving. Yeah. That sounds like him.
It must have been really hard to part with that stuff, though. It's freaking crazy.
Oh, he has so many.
That's true.
I mean, he is the GOAT.
Yep, that's true. He is a Hall of Famer. Definitely a Hall of Famer. We're going to get you out in just a minute, George. Got a couple more things for NBA. NBA Hall of Fame, gentlemen, we have a date. May 14th to May 16th. It was going to make a weekend out of it, apparently. All right, here are your candidates. The big names. Obviously, you have announcers. You have, statisticians. You have statisticians and writers and all that crap. But I got these are the names that I have so far. Candidates: Rick Adelman, Chris Bosh, Michael Cooper, which is funny because on a double dribble, our guy Manny was talking about Michael Cooper. Michael Cooper, Tim Hardaway, Marquise Johnson, The Truth, Paul Pierce, Bill Russell as a coach, Big Ben Wallace, C. Webb, Chris Webber, and Jay Wright as a coach. You hear those names, George. Who stands out to you, and which one is a surprise to you?
Oh, that's a good question. A surprise would probably be. I mean, Rick Adelman's a good coach, but I haven't heard from him for a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, hats off to him. And then what was the other question? I'm sorry.
Surprise, and then one you
stand out.
Yeah, one that stood out to you.
I think the one that stood out to me was, there's just so many names. So
yeah, it's
Can you read the names out?
Adelman, Bosh, Cooper, Hardaway, Marquise Johnson, The Truth, Bill Russell as a coach, Ben Wallace, C. Webb, and Jay Wright as a coach.
think what stood out to me was Chris Bosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got you.
Because yeah.
Because he's Bosh, man. He was an all-star even before he went to Miami, you know? And then
he was like with those Toronto Raptors, but then like now he had a lesser role when he went to Miami.
Absolutely.
But it sucks because like the dude could still play. It's just that he had blood cloth issues, so
he lived through it. He played through it. It's crazy.
But he played through it, yeah. So I mean, if he didn't have those things, he'll probably be still playing right now.
Absolutely, I agree. Gilbert, well, who stood out to you, and which one was the one you expected?
Oh, for me, actually, I have two that stood out for me. It's actually Chris Bosh and Paul Pierce. I think it's just too soon for them to be
really
elected to the Hall of Fame. I mean, if you think about it, every other guy on that list was mostly from I want to say like 1980s, like Michael Cooper, Rick Adelman, stuff like that. So I think it's just too soon. And Chris Webber, I think he's much well deserved to be a Hall of Famer, man. So that's my that's my take on that.
And then these guys, they're also going to be joining the class of 2020, which is the huge three, which was Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, and the late great Kobe Bryant. So that's going to be one hell of a class. And these guys aren't even in; these are just candidates. So we'll see what happens. Big news came out. I'm very happy about this. Not happy like joyful happy, but satisfied happy. Vanessa Bryant has won her lawsuit versus the county. I believe it was LA County, because of those idiot sheriffs that decided to take pictures of Kobe and Gigi and the other victims, and send them out to people. Normally, when you're a sheriff station or any type of police, they try to keep your name confidential just for safety purposes. She has won the case, and they will be releasing the name of the 4 idiotic sheriffs out there that went out and did that crap. And I hope that they pay dearly for what they did, whether it's jail time or a humongous fine or some type of punishment. Because if you ask me, they absolutely deserve it. That was a really stupid decision on their part. What do you think, George?
Yeah, that was a stupid decision, like you said. It was really disrespectful because, like, you're a police officer. You want to keep things confidential. Like, why the hell would you want to take pictures of them and then, like, share them to people? Because, like, because, like, you're contradicting yourself. Like, you want to keep stuff confidential, but then, like, you're not doing your job. And that's disrespectful because it's just Kobe. And Kobe has been really good with this LA community, let alone with this whole world, of being so courageous to other people in his community. So like with that, like I think I'm glad Vanessa Bryant won her case because like things could have just got so chaotic from there. Gladly it didn't. So I mean, if you ask me, like I think like you said, like they should do some time in jail because not only they disrespected on their job roles, but I think they should be strapped from their badge just because like they took those pictures when
or at least
was
a long leave or something while this is going on. When their name goes out, I can almost guarantee they're going to get suspended because they're not going to want them on the force during this case.
Or let alone like I'll take one step further. I think they should be fired for what they did because number one, you're not supposed to be doing that. Like that's just stupid. Like stupid decisions like that like could like cost you your job. And I hope they do something to discipline these officers.
Yeah, we'll see. Gilbert, real quickly, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I gotta agree with you guys. I just I hope these officers are held accountable for their actions. I believe it was very disrespectful on their part, and I also believe if it wasn't Kobe, I don't think that they would have done something like that. And I think just because it was Kobe, they decided to do something like that, and it's sad. LAPD has always been in the news for doing stupid stuff. And
say what you want, it's your show. Yeah, it's true. I mean, look at the history books, you know. So it's sad. It was just an idiotic decision, one of those split-second decisions. Do I do this? Do I try to be famous? Blah, blah, blah. And now it's going to cost them their, like you said, George, it's going to cost them their livelihood. It's going to ruin their family's lives.
Yeah, it's basically just like me being like the fan, being like a Laker fan running on the court when I'm not supposed to, like during like timeouts and like getting like autographs and stuff. That's how bad it is.
Bro,
So yeah, I think they deserve to be banned from their jobs. If you ask me.
We'll see. We're going to keep up with that for sure. Before you leave, George, I want you to talk to me about Myers. Well, what the hell happened with that? He's playing a video game. Miami, he comes out, he's playing a video game, and said the wrong thing, dude. I mean, I hear my roommate when he was here, and he would cuss up a storm playing Call of Duty, you know, or something like that. It's one thing to cuss up a storm, but it's one thing to say racial slurs. And if you are a public figure, you can't use racial slurs. We have said this so many times. George, talk to me. What happened? Let the people know what's going on. What I'm talking about.
Yeah, Myers Leonard was wrong on his part, and then like what really got me was his apology, because he says like I'm sorry and stuff, and then he said he didn't know what the word means. I'm like, dude, like why did you say if you don't know what it means? Like that's pretty stupid. If you don't know what the word means, don't say it. Because
can you elaborate? George, can you elaborate without saying the word? Can you elaborate what we're talking about? Like what race was it? What you can say what he said if you want.
It was Jewish, and then like no, I'll just keep it like
you keep it clean. Okay, go ahead.
So like it was just a pretty bad word that discriminated Jewish people, and I think with that, like I don't think he's gonna be in the NBA for long based on what he did. Like, yes, he apologized, but because like he's already out of the NBA due to shoulder surgery. So if you give him a suspension, so if you give him a suspension, I mean that's not really gonna do anything because like he's already out, and like I just don't see the heat. And then like I think he's on his last year of his deal, so he's going to be a free agent. I just don't see the Heat picking up his option.
Oh, definitely not. Well, they gave him a $50,000 fine plus a suspension, so we'll see. I think it's a week suspension. That's like a slap on the wrist, if you ask me. Gilbert, how do you feel about this?
I mean, like you said, he's a public figure. You gotta be careful what you say, and He definitely wasn't paying attention to what he said, and it cost him. You know, it might cost him his NBA career now. And for him to say he didn't know what the word means, that's my point of view is kind of ridiculous because I mean you're not gonna say something if you don't know what it means.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're not gonna because like I'll just say this. Like during his suspension, he needs to get someone needs to educate him. He needs to take these classes on.
He should have to go as part of his punishment. He should have to go to like some management class of that, like not just.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he needs to go to this management class because like I think he did something once before, like not based on like what he like. I don't know, because like what's crazy about this story was he stood up for the national anthem in the bubble, like supporting like racial injustice and stuff.
Then he does this.
Like that, and then he does this. And that was like the crazy part of me. I'm like, why would you do this? But then like you change your ways and do this. So like I think with that said, I think so like he needs to go to this class knowing like what the word means and how it hurts these other Jewish people, because it's like him calling us the N-word, like me, like a black person. Like with some disrespect. But like I know he was playing the video game, but like you said, you're a public figure. You gotta watch what you say. Like there's TMZ around, there's people following you around trying to like pick up a story. So he needs to like I said, he needs to take some management courses.
No, I agree 100%. But he's going to be, like you said, he's going to be out of the NBA for a while. Another guy who's going to be out of where he was playing is Lamarcus Aldridge. Pop ain't messing around anymore. George, do you know what's going on with that whole situation? Like, Pop is like kicking him out. Like, what's going on over there?
I don't know. Like I think no. The only thing I heard was he was parting ways, but I didn't get a chance to see what the full veto is. But
Well,
now,
Pop,
like since Aldridge, what happened?
Pop had a full
From
press conference saying he ain't coming back. I don't want him back. Gilbert, do you have any details on this possibly?
I mean, well, from what I heard, that it's just a full rebuild, man. They want to get rid of these guys, and I think DeRosa's on his way out as well, perhaps.
Wow.
So I think they want to do a full rebuild and get some young talent in there and see what they could do with that. But man, LA, man, Lamarcus, he has a lot of teams looking at him, but I don't know if it's with the trade or if it's gonna be on the buyout market.
No, I think it's going to be on the buyout market. I don't think they're trading him for pieces because of how long he stood in the NBA. So I think like it's going to be a buyout market, and I think he's going to have options on what team he wants to like join. So if I was him, like I'll try to join a contender. I'll try to join a contender.
I would love to see him go back to the Blazers.
Yeah, he can go to Portland. He might come to us. There's lots of places he could go. There's a lot
Portland's not really a bad destination for him because that's where he started his career. And why end your career with that same team that got drafted? And then you got Damian Lillard, you got like a good team down there. So you could possibly make noise in the playoffs if he actually joins that team.
Absolutely.
That'd be a good fit for him. Definitely.
I agree. And before George heads out, let's go ahead and talk about the first half rankings for the NBA right now, being the fact that All-Star game just passed. The East right now, 8-1. The Atlanta Hawks, the Charlotte Hornets, the New York Knicks, the Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics, Milwaukee Bucks, Brooklyn Nets, and the Philadelphia 76ers. Talk to me, George.
Those are some good teams, man. Those are some good teams. Those are high ranked, right?
This is 8-1.
8-1, yeah. I mean, Brooklyn's been playing ball. Like we already know, like going into the season, that Brooklyn's going to be a great team in the East. But now, since they added James Harden earlier in the year, and then now they got Blake Griffin, like I think that's going to be a big force to reckon with when other teams try to face them in the playoffs. So I think that'll be. And then like 76ers have been playing ball too. Joel Embiid is being Joel Embiid, trying to be like the most dominant center. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does win MVP because he got Doc Rivers coaching him up. So and then like Philadelphia has like a nice team. Like they added Danny Green, they added Seth Curry, they added like shooters around Joel Embiid for him to operate in the paint.
Yep. Gilbert,
Milwaukee's Milwaukee. So
Milwaukee's Milwaukee. They got free. Gilbert, what do you think about the East? The 8-1.
Oh man, I've been saying this since the beginning, man. Don't sleep on my Hornets, and they're clearly in the picture for the playoffs.
Hey, LaMelo's gonna win MVP. I'm calling this right now. Mark my words. He's gonna win.
Sure.
MVP.
I mean, not MVP, not MVP. I meant to say rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year. You're gonna walk away with it.
My bad. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead and continue.
Oh, yeah, but the team that definitely caught me by surprise, man, is New York Knicks. Did not expect them to be in the mix for the playoffs. Julius Randle, man, former Lakers, man, just lighting it up, man. He's really putting in work over there, and also the addition of Derrick Rose is a big help to them as well. So I like what that team is doing out there, and man, I'm ready for the second half of the NBA season to see those teams stay in the mix.
All right, Jim.
Yeah, the Knicks I was gonna say, like, the reason why the Knicks are such a good team is because they play defense. And Thibodeau, like that's his calling card. His calling card is play defense, play hard, and then we get easy buckets from there.
Absolutely.
That's what he preaches like every single time in his NBA career when he
coaches those Bulls. You guys want to talk buckets? Let's hit the West.
Yeah,
all right, here's the West. 8-1, gentlemen. The Dallas Mavericks, the San Antonio Spurs, Denver Nuggets, the Portland Trailblazers, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Los Angeles Lakers, the surprising Phoenix Suns, and the nobody expected them to be there. Number 1, Utah Jazz. Gilbert, go.
Oh, man, the West is so crazy. But like you said, nobody expected the Jazz to be there. And I must take another step and say I didn't expect the Suns to be in second place. I definitely expected them to be in the playoffs, but not in second place. Man, the the West, man, I don't even know where to start. From one to 8, those teams are all elite, and any of those teams could come out the West and win a championship. That's all I gotta say.
And those matchups would be ridiculous, regardless of who plays who. Seriously, George,
Exactly.
Go ahead before you bounce. What do you think?
I mean, like, I think those rankings are pretty much spot on. Like it says, Suns are like the surprising team, but look who's coaching the Suns, like Monty Williams. Monty Williams has been doing a pretty good job managing his guys. And then like they add the veteran Chris Paul that's leading that team. Yeah, him and Booker, like showing Booker how to win ball games and stuff. And Lakers is Lakers. We already know they're the undefeated champions. So, I mean the defending champions. My bad. And then sorry, I'm just kind of a little low-key all over the place. But
Phoenix and Utah, man.
And then like Utah. Utah. They always. They're always going to be in the mix, but yes, this is surprising because like they like to shoot threes now and they like to spread the floor. They like to spread you out. And then the good thing what makes them so dangerous is they're a great passing team.
Absolutely.
And Coach Snyder is just a great coach.
Yep.
So it's going to be between Quinn Snyder or Monty Williams, in my opinion, that could actually get Coach of the Year this season.
All right. The playoffs are going to be really cool in the West. There's going to be history made. It's straight dominant teams. Let's jump onto the tennis court really quick to a dude who's always dominant, Novak Djokovic. He just broke Roger Federer's record, 311 weeks. 311 weeks ranked in the number 1 ranking. If that doesn't say dominance, I don't know what does, George.
Yeah, I mean, she's killing it. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, that's a dude. Novak's a dude.
I mean, Novak, my bad.
George, you're good.
That's how much
Gilbert, it's all good. That's why I try to do all the different sports so everybody gets a little round of birthday. Gilbert, you know Djokovic. This dude's 311 weeks at number 1, dude. Regardless of what sport, it's crazy. Go ahead.
I'm not surprised. This guy's he's one of the best in the sport. So he's been holding it down for a long time now, and he's one of the best. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. Speaking of one of the best, let's jump into the WNBA real quick.
Oh yes.
Liz Cambridge. This came out today, actually. She sat out last year, I believe. This year she's coming back. She is re-signing with the Reno Aces, or the Las Vegas Aces, I'm sorry. So that's a big pickup for the Aces.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And here's a big one. This one George is gonna be like, what? Maya Moore, future Hall of Famer Maya Moore, will not be returning in 2021. She didn't return last year. There was debate if she was going to return this year. She was focusing on religion, I believe it was, and family, and now she wants to focus on family. What do you think? Maya Moore's not coming back, George?
Oh, man.
I mean, that's just shocking to me because Maya Moore has been one of the faces of the WNBA only because of her body of work, how she plays hard on, and how she scores the ball.
Yeah.
She's like one of like the catalysts of beating like the Sparks. Like if you remember, it's between the Sparks and the Lynx in the finals. Like what is it, like 3 or 4 years in a row? So like kudos to Maya Moore for focusing on religion. That's cool. But I'd rather see her on the court like just doing her thing.
Yeah, she's all about family right now. And lastly, in the WNBA, another big thing went down. Natasha Cloud has signed an extension, multi-year extension with the world champion Washington Mystics. Gilbert, talk to me about that deal.
Man, Mystics, man, they're quietly making moves out there, and you gotta watch out for them because they're gonna make a run this year, man. It's gonna be entertaining to see what's gonna happen this year.
Yeah, Della Dawn is killing it in the Mystics.
Oh, I love Della. Yeah. She's crazy good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So don't sleep on the Mystics. They won a title for a reason, you know. Speaking of winning a title, when you want to win a title, you shell out the money. This guy got paid. Dak Prescott. 6 years, $140 million to stay with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to you, Gilbert. Talk to me.
Ricky, I remember you texting me and telling me this deal, man, and I still don't know how to feel about it. I have mixed
Cowboy
emotions.
fan though, did it? It didn't. You weren't excited. Like, what were you
Rick,
thinking?
well, Ricky, I'll tell you this. The reason why I have mixed emotions because from the time that Dak's been with us, we've been to the playoffs. Yes, we have, but we haven't been past the first round. And for him to get this type of money, I don't think it was worth it because there's other quarterbacks that deserve that type of money. Look at the quarterback that Buffalo has. Look how
Oh,
far they got in the playoffs this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe there's other quarterbacks out there that would have took us more
Wow.
farther.
Okay.
Man,
Okay.
well, I will say this. I will say this. I am looking for an upside this year, and I hope that now that he has his contract, I hope that he does make a bigger run for us, and we'll
Okay.
see what happens, man.
I got a follow-up question for you. Since you want to, I did
Yes.
not expect that reaction from you. You're a Cowboys fan. You're a diehard Cowboys fan.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yes.
seeing there's someone better out there. Would you trade him for Russell Wilson today?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, that's a great question. I actually had this talk with a coworker of mine the other day, and man, if it's just a swap, quarterback for quarterback, man, I was looking at the comparisons. They both been sacked at the same as much. Both have been sacked the same numbers,
Mm-hmm.
and the comparisons are pretty much the same. But
The only
when you talk
difference,
about
Wilson
Russell
has a
Wilson,
ring.
he's
Wilson has a ring.
he has a ring exactly, and he's been to the Super Bowl. So I mean, I would love to see him in a Cowboy jersey, but man, I don't know if Jerry Jones will do that trade, if he would do that move, man.
Do you think? I got one more follow-up question to this. Do you think Jerry Jones? He doesn't get scared very often. Were you think he was scared that Dak was going to walk?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's why I think out of the blue we got this deal because I think if he would have held back even more, it would have been a done deal, and Dak would have definitely walked away.
Yeah.
And he even said he wants to be a Cowboy, and but when the money's not right, sometimes you just gotta walk away. And I think if he didn't get that money, he was gonna do that. But yeah, I think Jerry Jones was definitely sweating it towards the end.
George, what do you think about this deal? Do you think that Jerry Jones was scared? Do you think that Dak was going to walk or what?
Well, I felt like they should have done this deal like a long time ago because like knowing that he's going to be a free agent, yes, Dak was asking for a whole lot of money that they were going to give him, but I think it was just about that time because like no one was sure on what the future holds for Dak Prescott because he's a free agent, like he's already been franchise tagged. So it's like you're not going to franchise tag your quarterback twice. So I mean,
True.
like I think for me it's like about that time that they signed him to a deal, and then they also believe in him like going forward. But then like what G was saying, like they haven't been out of the first round of the playoffs, so they only had they only won like 2 playoff games in the past 25 years, so that's a very long time. So it's like if the Cowboys want to win, they need to address their defense, and if they could do that, I think they'll be okay. It's just that they need to add I feel like they need to add like few wide receivers, but I think the Cowboys are kind of like in the right path right now.
I agree. So I think you're saying that they should take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers approach from last year, how they went out and got they had kids, they went out and got some veterans, including this guy. Tom Brady, 4-year deal just signed the other day. I don't know what the exact numbers are.
4 years.
Well, 4 years, I believe there's after the year option, he can walk, I believe, but it's a 4-year deal. So this guy is going to be in his walker kicking ass on the field. Like Tom Brady's not going anywhere, and it's the second that Tom Brady signed the dotted line, Gronk hit him up, and Gronk was like, "Hey, I'm coming back as well." All right, George, deuces, brother. George has got to go do family.
All right, see you guys later.
Be safe out there.
There's George.
So Gilbert, talk to me about Tom Brady not walking yet, dude.
Dude, this guy, man. there's the way he played in the Super Bowl. For him to be playing the way he's playing, man, he still looks good. Like he's one of these young studs. And for the way he held it down in Super Bowl, oh, man, this guy could play for another 10 years, man. And for him to sign this 4-year deal, I'm surprised. I really thought he was gonna come back maybe for another year, but 4 years, wow.
It said 2022, so that means with the 1-year option, but I believe it's a 4-year deal. So when we talked about Brady, let's talk about the guy who replaced him in New England, Cam Newton. Cam Newton didn't have the best year. Well, the whole team didn't have their best year. But Cam Newton got an extension, a 1-year extension, 1 year, $14 million. Do you think that's a little too much for Cam Newton?
I mean, I like Cam Newton's game. I like the way he plays and the way he carries himself off the field. And I just really want to see him be successful. And I'm surprised that they weren't that successful this year, especially with the coach that he has in Bill Belichick and just the environment the Patriots have, man. Just a winning environment. I really thought that they were gonna be at least in the mix for something, but we'll see what they do this year.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you think they're gonna? It was like, okay, it's his first year here. Let him get adapted, and we'll see where they go now. See if they'll
let them figure it out. Yeah.
Another thing, we're talking big bucks here. Salary cap has finally been set. Dak almost hit the salary cap. Salary cap is $182.5 million, and Dak got $140. It's freaking crazy. So the salary cap 182.5. I think that's a good number. I think that's a good number. So I'm just saying.
That's a lot of millions to me. Any millions is good enough for me.
You're telling me, brother. Some other moves were made as well. The Houston Texans brought in Mark Ingram, running back Mark Ingram, who used to play for Baltimore.
Nice.
Now he'll be running
I like that.
in Houston with Deshaun Watson, unless Deshaun Watson heads to, Seattle and gets traded for Wilson, because I think that's what's going to happen.
Wilson.
The Bucks made a franchise tag on Chris Goodwin. I think that's a good pickup by them because Goodwin is ridiculously fast. The Bears.
Chris Godwin?
Godwin, I'm sorry. Godwin. Is it Godwin?
Yeah.
Godwin? Godwin. I said Goodwin.
Yeah, Godwin, the receiver, right?
Yeah, he got franchised. So he'll be back
nice.
this year. So another super fast guy, Chicago Bears, Allen Robinson is also getting franchised, so he'll stay in Chicago. The New York Giants franchise Leonard Williams. This next move's hurt me bad as a Titans fan. The Tennessee Titans released Malcolm Butler and Jonnu Smith. Those are two huge releases. Even if you're not a Titans fan, those are two big releases. Malcolm Butler is an all-star, if you ask me.
I have a question for you then, since we're talking about your Titans.
Okay.
How do you feel about those two big major pieces going out the door now?
It hurts. It hurts straight up. Jonnu is one of our strongest receivers, and Malcolm's a ridiculous cornerback, CB. Ridiculous cornerback. He could play safety if he wanted to, and he's an all-star and he's a leader. So that one really hurt. It really hurt, and hopefully we'll be able to replace that this next season.
Right.
Kids, here's some two other, as big as those two names are. These next two names are even more ridiculous that they got released. The New Orleans Saints released Emmanuel Sanders and Quan Alexander.
Really? Wow, those are two big major players in their game, and they released them. Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Huge release. I thought Quan Alexander did really good this year, if you ask me. So there's a lot of teams are really going to benefit on these releasings of these players.
Oh yeah,
there's going to be more coming this week and next week, and more of the off season.
Just with those four players that you just mentioned right now, those are studs right there. So any teams could use either any of those guys, man.
Absolutely. And then lastly, the Philadelphia Eagles, they had a decision to make on their quarterback. Who are they going to put as the main guy? They have decided to build around Alabama champion Jalen Hurts. And if you ask me, I feel Jalen Hurts earned his keep this season. So,
man, it just seems like NFC East teams have problems, man. From the Eagles to the Cowboys, when it comes to the quarterback position, even the Washington football team has problems at
I
the
can't
quarterback
believe they
position.
released
So
Alex Smith. I can't believe they released Alex Smith. That pissed me off. I couldn't believe that.
exactly.
So, speaking of hurting, my friend, let's jump into NXT/WWE because a lot of stuff is going down. First off, I got a big announcement regarding WWE. The Hall of Fame is going to take place this year. You know, last year it didn't happen. This year, write it down, put it in your phone, whatever. Hall of Fame will air on the Peacock app, which is actually a pretty cool app. You should get it. It's only like $5.99, $9.99 if you don't want commercials. It's pretty good. I like it. Anyway, it'll be
Ricky,
on.
before you throw the list with the Peacock app, would I be able to sign in with my WWE Network subscription, or would I have to?
It will be, from what they're saying, you have to get rid of your network because right now they're putting stuff on the Peacock, but as of after WrestleMania, they should have a bunch of stuff, and then eventually they're gonna have everything. But they're gonna have the pay-per-views as of Fastlane. So March 18th, I think, is the cutoff for WWE Network. So if you don't want to get charged for this month, you might want to get off WWE Network and get onto Peacock for Fastlane and for a couple other things that they're slowly starting to add. WrestleMania is going to be on there, and then so on and so forth. So right now, if you cut off, finger quotes, cut off WWE Network, you'll have it for, I think, the end of the month.
The rest of the month, right?
I believe so. And then after that, they get rid of you, you know? So I would say move over to Peacock if you're asking me. That's what I did. So with that said, April 6th, I believe it's a Tuesday, that will be, that will air on Peacock, April 6th, 2020 and 2021 class of the Hall of Fame will be announced. And those names, I'm actually going to pull up a schedule so I can give it to everybody because it's a big schedule for that week. WrestleMania. You've heard WrestleMania weekend. Well, this year it's going to be WrestleMania week. It's going to be crazy. Let me go ahead and run that week down by you. You got Monday, April 5th will be Monday Night Raw, go home show. April 6th, Tuesday, will be the Hall of Fame. And then you got the NXT pay-per-view during the week, which we'll talk about in a minute because I don't want to spoil it. Friday night SmackDown, of course, on Friday, and then WrestleMania, April 10th, April 11th, Saturday and Sunday. So it's going to be crazy. So I kind of jumped ahead of myself there, but I want to let you guys know who's in the class, who's in the Hall of Fame class. Of course, you have 2020 from last year that obviously, just like NBA, they didn't get to happen. They didn't get to have their ceremony. They didn't get to do what they were going to do. Those names are Jushin Thunder Liger, the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, John Bradshaw Layfield, JBL, Nikki and Brie, the Bella Twins, Batista, and the original four of the New World Order, which is Six Pack, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash. That's the class of 2020. Yeah, that's the class of 2020 that's going to come in. But they announced this week who's going to be joining them. And I think you're going to like this one, Gilbert, because you like this person. She is a massive trailblazer in the women's division. Your very first 2021 for inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame is going to be Molly Holly.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, I remember her.
She's a trailblazer. You talk to any girl in the WWE, they tell you Molly affected them in some which way. It's always her, Trish, and Lita. Those are the three names you always hear. Yeah. So shout out to Molly Holly. What, you were going to say something?
No, those three girls right there, they are the trailblazers for the divas that are now in playing the big part in the WWE, man.
Absolutely. So shout out to Molly Holly and shout out to the class of 2020 who are yet to have the ceremony. You know, they deserve to have their ceremony as well. So it's going to be a good class, and there's going to be more than likely on Monday they'll announce another people, and we'll talk about that next week. So it's going to be really cool. But speaking of announcements, bro, this guy is also a trailblazer in WWE, WCW, wrestling in general, William Regal, who is the general manager of NXT. He came out with two huge announcements. Again, I talked about that WrestleMania week. The reason I didn't announce NXT and when they were going to do their show is because William Regal came out and said NXT TakeOver, Stand and Deliver, which will be the NXT WrestleMania version pay-per-view, will be not only on Wednesday, but Thursday as well. NXT TakeOver will be a 2-night event this year, Gilbert. You're muted. You're muted. There you go.
Oh, that's gonna be crazy. I'm sorry.
No,
That's
you're
gonna
good.
be
It's
crazy
gonna
going
be
back
awesome.
to back.
Yeah, two
Yes.
days of NXT, bro. So again, that schedule: Raw on Monday, Hall of Fame on Tuesday, NXT on Wednesday and Thursday. Friday will be SmackDown, WrestleMania on Saturday and Sunday. That's gonna be
It's gonna be a hell of a week.
first week of March. First week of March. I mean of April. First week of April. I'm
April.
sorry. It's gonna be freaking epic. But let's get to that announcement, Gilbert. Let's get to that. The second big announcement. William Regal came out. As you remember, we talked about last week. Ricky's ranted about it because of stupid Adam Pearce. The WWE Women's Tag Team title was on the line. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler taking on Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. They won the Women's Dusty Rhodes Classic. I said Dakota and Raquel were going to walk away with it. They should have walked away with it. Freaking Adam Pearce comes out on NXT as an NXT referee got knocked out. He brings out a Raw referee. Mind you, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax are Raw affiliated superstars. They bring out a Raw referee. They get the victory. Shayna and Nia end up walking out the women's tag team champions. I was pissed. I vented about it. William Regal was also pissed. So he did something about it. He brings out the women, the entire women's division of NXT, said they're the best division in all of wrestling, and I totally 1,000% agree with him. And then he calls forward Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. He tells them, hey, you guys did amazing. You represented NXT amazing as you won the Dusty Rhodes Classic, first ever women's Dusty Rhodes Classic, and you got screwed. Simply put, you got screwed by Adam Pearce, and I'm not going to deal with it. I think you deserve better. And then he revealed these babies right here. We now have NXT Women's Tag Team Championship titles. They are presented to Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, and I couldn't have been happier.
Nice.
So what do you think?
Much
You know, the
deserved.
NXT Women's division, the teams that they can make in that division, man, they're going to be really good.
I'm telling you, from the bottom to the top, NXT, they have some coming up superstars in that division right there, man.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like that just means that the WWE Tag Team Women's title will be Raw and SmackDown, which is fine with me. I love the NXT division. It got better. It gets better. Mind you, Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai defeated Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart in the finals in an amazing match. And they came out. They were already out there, obviously. They step out, they go to the ring, and they say, hey, you're the champions now. Why don't you be fighting champions? Why don't you defend the titles against us? And, of course, Dakota and Raquel are like, no, we don't want nothing because they're heels. I don't want nothing to do with that. And then Regal's like, no, I think that's a great idea. So the match was set. NXT Women's Tag Team titles on the line. Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez defending their brand newly won NXT Women's Tag Team titles against Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. And the cool part, Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart walk out of NXT, the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. And I couldn't be happier for Shotzi Blackheart. I love it.
Wow.
I love it. Shotzi Blackheart's been in the indies for so many years, and then to come up to NXT and finally get to wear some gold, it was awesome. It was straight up awesome.
Much deserved.
Shout out to the NXT women's division. I mean, there's no other way to put it. But there's some other big things going down as well. Again, there was multiple title matches on Wednesday. The women's title was on the line. Yoshirai against Toni Storm. We talked about this last week. We said that Io has never beaten Toni Storm. The match was good, really good match. Io ends up walking out. Io got finally defeated Toni Storm. She finally got that monkey off her back, So shout out to Io Shirai. She's had the title for a while now. She's had it for a very long time. So
yeah, I believe I called that one. Did?
You did. I
think I did.
You did. However, Gilbert, Io Shirai, who now doesn't know who she wants to face, get this. Raquel Gonzalez is already pissed off because she just lost the tag team titles that she literally just got. Io Shirai literally walks up to Raquel Gonzalez, says, "I want you." So more than likely at Stand and Deliver, we're going to get the women's title. Raquel Gonzalez against Io Shirai, bro. Two totally different wrestling styles. And the match is going to be awesome. Absolutely awesome.
That'd be a fight to watch right there.
Yeah. And then another big name is returning, which is kind of cool. This guy won the Cruiserweight title a while back because, they had the Cruiserweight Classic and stuff like that. But he was in the UK. He came over to NXT. He won the Cruiserweight title. And then COVID hit. And mind you, he's from Ireland, Jordan Devlin. Jordan Devlin's visa, after I think like a year-ish now, has been cleared, like officially. Jordan Devlin called out Santos Escobar and says, "You're not the real Cruiserweight champion. I'm the real Cruiserweight champion." Regal has made the match. It will be an undisputed Cruiserweight title match. I believe it's this coming week. It'll be Jordan Devlin taking on Santos Escobar. And hopefully they get the title off of Santos Escobar because he drives me nuts. And I love Jordan Devlin. So either way, I think this is going to go good.
Sounds like a hell of a fight on the way.
Yeah, speaking of a hell of a fight, sir, there's no better fight than this. This was an amazing match. Finn Balor against Adam Cole for the NXT Championship.
Yeah. Yes, give us the results, Ricky.
Bro, the match itself was ridiculous. You got two of the best fighters in all of NXT going at it. Finn Balor ends up getting the dub. Finn Balor defeats Adam Cole. Mind you, the Undisputed Era broke up the following week. So Kyle O'Reilly comes out because that's who got jumped. He jumps Adam Cole. Adam Cole and him go out of the ring and they go do their fighting thing. And mind you, Karrion Kross was the NXT champion before Finn Balor won the tournament. Kross won the title, and the very next day, I think he broke his arm or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Karrion Kross, this is how the show went off the air. It was awesome. Again, O'Reilly chases off Cole. They're fighting. Balor's, collecting himself. He puts a title on his shoulder. He turns around, and who's waiting face to face, staring him eye to eye? Karrion freaking Kross, bro. We're going to get Karrion Kross versus Finn Balor for the NXT title. I can't wait for that.
Nice.
That's going to be awesome.
Man, it sounds like Stand and Deliver is going to be crazy, man.
It's stepping up to Mania, dude. It might even be better than Mania. It'll be awesome. It's going to give us moments we'll never forget and that we don't expect. Just like 50 years ago, Gilbert, 50 years ago, there was a match, a boxing match between the world champion Muhammad Ali and some guy named Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier knocked out Muhammad Ali in the upset heard around the world 50 years ago. Why am I talking about this, you ask? They gave Joe Frazier in Philadelphia a statue to commemorate this. I think this is freaking awesome. So shout out to Muhammad Ali, the late great Muhammad Ali, and to Joe Frazier for this historical moment that we'll have for the rest of our lives. So shout out to them for that. So he getting a trophy, a statue, and it'll be there to commemorize this moment for forever. People can go take pictures.
Yeah, man. It seems like these two guys really had like heat, man. Like they really didn't like each other. I saw this interview on ESPN where they were both sitting down and getting reviewing. I think it was one of their fights, and I guess they were going back at it, talking smack to each other, and then they got into it, man. Mm-hmm. And they had to be separated. So
yeah,
man, I could just imagine how that fight was.
Yeah, and if you look at the world famous picture when Frazier knocked out Ali, down goes Frazier, one of the most memorable calls ever. Frazier is standing over Ali with his arm like curled, like, yeah, I just knocked your ass out, bro. Like that's the world famous picture. I worked at a sports collectible place and we sold that picture, and it was really cool to look at every day. So shout out to them, the Frazier family, Joe Frazier, of course, the Ali family, getting commemorated with this moment. I think it's freaking awesome. Another person who made a little bit of history, we talked about her last week, Clarissa Shields, the female boxer champion. We talked about her attempting history because we didn't know if she was going to win or not. Clarissa Shields has now made history. She's the first female boxer to win in two titles for two different divisions. So shout out to Clarissa Shields. These girls, man,
Nice.
taking over.
Yeah, man. And for her to like win 2 titles in 2 different divisions, that's crazy.
Yep. No one expects that. So with the women, they're making more awareness for them. So shout out to these
Definitely.
ladies. They're making things exciting. She's making history. And let's jump into a dude who knows a little something about making history. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is going to be the head of the XFL, the new XFL in 2022. And
Yes. What I'm looking forward to. Yes.
yes, it's going to be epic. And get this, you all know the XFL and the CFL run at the same time. They always have. The CFL, before the XFL came, CFL always ran in the spring. Well, apparently, XFL and the CFL are working on a merger. So I don't know if it's going to be like, okay, CFL plays CFL, XFL plays XFL, they face each other in a championship. I don't know what they're going to do, or if they're actually going to play each other. But the CFL's got some pretty good teams, and they have some pretty big names. And same thing with the XFL. I mean, the Houston Roughnecks were 9-0. So
Yeah.
it'd be cool to see like the Toronto Argonauts take on the Roughnecks. It would be, the Calgary.
It'll be like the NBA versus the ABA.
Yeah, and it would be epic. It would be cool to see. So even if they do like league and then champions face each other, like that would be freaking awesome. And if anybody could pull it off, it's Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson pull that off.
As soon as I heard about this, man, I was caught by surprise, but mostly excited just because of what you just mentioned right now, the type of matchups that we're gonna be able to see, or whatever they decide to do with both leagues is just gonna be extraordinary to see. And I just can't wait till 2022 and see what's gonna unfold. So definitely looking forward to that.
It's going to be exciting. It's definitely different. It's going to be different. It's going to be really cool. And we know The Rock's going to make it entertaining, but he's going to make it like actual football. He's going to make it.
Yeah, and I'm glad that both leagues decided to get together to make it more entertaining for football fans. So it's going to be crazy, man.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. It's going to be freaking epic. The one guy who's not going to be seeing a football field anytime soon, we talked about this guy last week, and Ricky ranted about him, and I used to love him. I thought he was an amazing coach. I can't argue with the history he has when he was in LSU and wherever else he's been. Les Miles, we talked about him sexually bothering student staffers and students, and he was caught. And now he has been dismissed from the University of Kansas, which, unlike LSU, they waited forever. I love that Kansas got rid of him right away. Maybe he's on a leave, but he has been dismissed, and I applaud the University of Kansas for doing this as quick as they did.
Oh, definitely, man. Like you said, they should have done this a long time ago, and they finally did. So I applaud them as well.
Absolutely, because we ain't got no room for that crap. So we're gonna go from talking about a guy who's not going to see a field to, unfortunately, a guy who's not going to see the light of day anymore. I'm not saying this in a funny way. I'm saying this in serious. We almost made it. Almost made it, Gillard. Want to say rest in peace, send condolences and prayers to Rial Cormier and the Cormier family, and to the many teams that he played for in the MLB. He was a left-handed pitcher. He was an all-star, mainly known for playing for the Phillies. He was 53 years old, and he died from pancreatic cancer. So again, I want to send out a condolence to the Cormier family, to the Phillies, to the Major League Baseball organizations all around the world, all around the country, because they all knew Cormier. They all knew him. He was an all-star. So prayers to that family, that they can just get through this really tough time of losing this awesome guy. So we almost made it. So it hurts. So we lost Rial Cormier. We're also going to lose Nick Marchakis, a multiple-time All-Star. He signed that massive deal with the 6-year deal with the Braves. 6 years ago, obviously. Nick Marchakis, speedster, left-handed power hitter, played right field. He was with the Orioles most of his career. and he was known for playing for them. But he was with the Braves during their big run this year and the year before. 15 seasons. So shout out to Nick Marchakis, and all his future endeavors. Prayers to him on whatever he goes to next. So shout out to him.
Definitely.
I also got some big Angels news. Angels have announced who will be joining Mark Gubicza in the booth for TV. They have two people who will alternate. Darren Sutton, who is the son of the late great Dodger pitcher Don Sutton. He's also done some stuff himself. And MLB Network's Matt Vasgersian will be joining.
Oh, okay, nice.
Team. So
nice.
they're going to alternate, coming in and out with Gooby, and it's gonna be interesting. I thought the same thing when Victor Rojas came in. When Victor came in originally, I was kind of iffy. So we'll see. We'll see what's up. We'll see where.
I'm surprised they didn't get maybe like Jose Mota in there or something.
Yeah, he has another role. He has a different role with the team. Apparently, he got promoted to something bigger. I was thinking Tim Salmon, because he's been doing the pregame and postgame. Even Patrick O'Neill, Trent Rush, one of those guys could have definitely stepped in. But I mean, he's a writer. He knows his stuff, And I've never seen Darren Sutton do his thing, but he's related to Don Sutton. He's got to know his baseball,
Right.
So
we'll see how that plays out this year.
Yeah, well, at least hopefully they'll be entertaining. Oh, Matt Vasgersian is the guy that goes, Santa Maria. You've ever heard those games where that's him. He says Santa Maria. So from Angels to Dodgers, shout out to David Price. David Price, again, he didn't play last year. He's playing this year. He has decided that he will take any role. And that's a smart move on his part, because that staff in Chavez Ravine is unbelievable. And as good as David Price is, he'll be like a 4, maybe a 5, if he's even remotely close to that rotation. So if you were the Dodgers, if you were the Dodgers, where would you put David Price? Would you make him a left-handed specialist? Mind you, he could throw almost 100. He's been a starter. He's been a closer. Obviously, he's not going to be the closer. Dodgers have a closer. Do you make him a setup man? Do you make him a specialist? Do you make him a middle reliever? Or what would you do with David Price?
Well, for me personally,
or do you make him number 5?
Well, the way I see it is like, as if I was a coach, it just depends on who we play that day. If I feel like David Price could come in and get the job done for this certain amount of innings and hold this team down for a bit, then I'll put him in there. It's just, or I could even put him towards the end of the game. He's that good where you could just throw him in wherever, and he'll do his part. Well, like he said, he's willing to do anything.
You want to put him towards the end of the game. He's been a closer before. He was a closer with Tampa when they won the American League Championship the first time. He's also been a pitcher in Boston, and he's done his thing there. But it all depends on.
I always liked his game.
Well, it all depends on what Jansen does. If Jansen's struggling, you could put Price as a closer. But on the flip side, if you lose a starting pitcher, knock on wood, God forbid, Dodgers,
you can put him in there.
Pitcher, you put him in there. He can go in the 3. He can go in the 5. He can go in the 2. So it's going to be interesting to see where.
Yeah, and that's.
Go ahead.
And that's where they're going to be dangerous, because they got Price where you can put them pretty much anywhere. So
they got depth, bro. They got depth.
Yeah, exactly.
Use it, and it's going to be pretty crazy to see where this goes. And you know what else is going to be crazy, Gilbert? California is open to fans. Finally open to fans. It's crazy that they're open to fans. 20%. 20% capacity, Angel Stadium, Dodger Stadium, Giants, Padres, all at 20%, which me working as a staff member, I'm excited. I get to go back to work. But it's going to be very interesting to see where they seat these people, how they seat these people, what the protocols are going to be, something like that. But then for a rant, Texas, who is maskless now, wants to open up, get this, at opening day. They want to open up at 100% capacity.
Wow. Texas, man, they're just, I don't even know, I can't even say, they're just, Texas, man. Just Texas, man.
Yeah, they're gonna ruin it. They're gonna ruin it for a lot of people. They really are. They really are.
Hey, man. When they say Texas is lawless and outlaws, they really live by that, man.
Yeah, they're crazy, dude. I mean, it's gonna screw them. I'm calling it right now. I don't want it to, but it's gonna screw them. Someone's gonna mess up really
You think it
bad.
didn't come back to bite them.
It's gonna bite them, and it's gonna mess it up for MLB. So
I hope not, man.
I think
really.
they need to swallow their pride and at least drop it to 50%. You know,
Yeah.
something like that. So we'll see where that goes. And speaking of Texas screwing people, the Houston Astros got Jake Odorizzi. The Angels wanted Jake Odorizzi. That didn't happen. They signed him to a 2-year deal. He's a multiple-time All-Star. He used to play for Minnesota. Also, another deal that went down, the former Angel left-hander Jose Alvarez, 1 year, 1.5 to the Giants. Another former Angel and former Giant, Trevor Cahill, 1 year, 1.5 to the Pirates. Zach Britton of the New York Yankees, former closer, former middleman, all-star. He's going under the knife surgery to remove a bone chip. That's the worst thing you can get pretty much as a pitcher in his elbow, so he'll be out a while. This one pissed me off, but I'm not going to stick on it too long. Former Texas Ranger pitcher Sam Dyson is out for the entire season because of domestic abuse on his wife.
Oh man, no.
That's all I'm gonna say. Sam Dyson, I hope you don't see you don't see a baseball diamond ever again. Sorry, I said it. It's there. One more thing in the MLB. This is kind of cool. They're going to experiment the new things that they've been talking about in the minor leagues. Here are some of the stuff that they're talking about doing: a pitch clock, no shifts, like you get punished if you do a shift, limiting pickoffs, and electronic strike zones. I used to be a catcher, so I don't know how I would feel about electronic strike zones. So hearing what do you think about those possible things happening?
It just keeps telling me more electronics, man. Just the endless, the limitless of electronics, man. It's gonna be crazy to see how the game evolves throughout the years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny. I'm like, what's next? You know, robot umpires? Like, is that the next thing that's coming?
Right?
Like, freaking nuts. Speaking of umpires and refs, could you imagine, Gilbert, having robot referees in the NHL? That would be crazy. Like,
no.
robot. That would be freaking nuts, right?
That'd be scary.
Yeah. We'll talk some NHL really quick. The Tampa Bay Lightning finally, even though season's already like 3/4 over, finally get to raise their championship banner in front of fans in Tampa Bay. So that's pretty cool for them. Also, the NHL and ESPN have signed a 7-year $1 billion deal for next season. Details are on ESPN. You can check those out. St. Louis Blues signed their goalie, Jordan Bennington. He's actually really good. He's an all-star. 6 years, $36 million. Shout out to him. And the Anaheim Ducks finally won a game. They end their 8-game losing skid, and the team that they beat the Stanley Cup favorite Colorado Avalanche. So that's pretty cool. They beat them in overtime. So finally, won a game. And we had to
Finally.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, finally.
Yeah, right. And then right after that, we had the Freeway Series. So Ducks took on the Kings at Staples. Ducks took that one. And then that was on a Wednesday, I believe. And then on Friday, the Kings beat the Ducks at the Honda Center. Go figure. One other big thing. All right, so if you're a road team and you go to another city, you expect to get, the #1 treatment, right? Get the great treatment, an awesome hotel, no problems, go do your game, go back to your hotel, you're all good, right? The Las Vegas Golden Knights went to play the San Jose Sharks, and they went to play, whatever. And the hotel they were staying at, they had to move automatically to another hotel. I don't know if they were playing the Sharks again. I know they've been doing back-to-backs a lot lately. But the hotel went bankrupt while they were there.
Are you serious? How's that even possible?
I know, right? I mean, if I'm the travel agent, I'm freaking pissed. That's all I gotta say. So I don't know if they had to like up and go in the middle of the night, or what it was.
Uh,
I think that's hilarious, and it's so unexpected for something crazy like that to happen, right?
that's really out of the blue.
It's hilarious. Speaking of unexpected, Gilbert, always expect the unexpected when it comes to this. March Madness on its way this week. It starts. All right, here's some of the dates. Let's talk ladies first. The ladies will be, their tournament starts on the 21st with the selection show being on March 15th. So if you're trying to follow the ladies, again, your selection show will be on March 15th and your tournament will start March 21st. You know, there's some really good teams. You know, you got UConn, Texas A&M, South Carolina, really good teams. Before we get into that, let's talk about the one big upset that happened this week. Number 16, Georgia defeated number 2. I love it when it's the top 3. Number 2, Texas A&M Aggies. So that's a pretty big upset, Gilbert.
Yeah. There's a lot of upsets this year, man.
I love upsets. They make me smile. I enjoy it. All right, so here's your rankings going into the final week. South Carolina 5-1. South Carolina, Texas A&M drops from 2 to 4. North Carolina State is in the 3. Stanford's in the 2, and of course the UConn Huskies are your number 1 ladies heading into March Madness, March 21st. Selection show March 15th. Any surprises? What are you looking forward to with the ladies?
I'm just looking forward to all going down, bro. We've been waiting for this for so long, and I'm ready to see who's gonna get the boot first.
Right, it's gonna be exciting. Again, we're gonna find out very shortly what ladies are heading to San Antonio, because that's where it's taking place for the ladies. All right, we talked to ladies, we gotta talk to dudes. Gentlemen, your selection show, we'll get into that in a minute. Actually, there's some big news that went down first. When I say these names, my head just boggles. Duke, Kansas, Virginia are all out of their conference tournaments, if not March Madness, due to COVID-19. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I can't even think of March Madness without Duke, man, because they're always in there. And even Kansas, man, and Virginia, man, like for them to be out of it, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, you say it every week, Gilbert. These guys need to pay attention to protocol, and look,
they do, especially when you're going for the championship, man. Like you gotta do it for your team, you gotta do it for yourself, you gotta do it for your family, and you just gotta be accountable for making those right moves, man, because this is what it takes to win, man. They did it in the bubble, and then you guys got to do it now too, man, if you guys are serious about winning.
Absolutely. We had two upsets, 2 big upsets. Were number 17 Oklahoma State defeated number 6 West Virginia, and Michigan State did it again, man. They beat someone again. Michigan State took out number 2 ranked Michigan. And
I saw that game, bro.
You saw that game, okay? Juwan Howard is probably pissed.
Yeah, he was pissed, and caught me by surprise because I was on the fence for Michigan. I was really hoping they would have got the win, but man, I was surprised, man. The Spartans, man, so
they got
the win, man.
They got history. You gotta watch.
Yeah, they got history.
Here's your rankings: 5-1. Iowa, Michigan drops from the 2 to the 4. Illinois is now in the 3. And then Baylor at the 2. And of course, you got them Gonzaga Bulldogs up in number 1. Surprises, excitement. Talk about the men real quick, Gilbert. We're almost done.
Yeah, Michigan, just for them to be dropping all the way to the 4, man. I just hope it didn't come back to bite them going into next week. And but we'll see what happens, man. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
All right, here's your dates. Write it down, get it in your phone, whatever you got. Selection show will be tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time for the men. Again, that means Sunday to 3 p.m. selection show for March Madness. All 68 teams will be announced who's going to be in there. Also, the tournament starts this Thursday for the men, so be ready. March 18th, I believe it is. I don't have anything else to say left, Gilbert, except for let the madness begin. Let's do it. That's all I gotta say. Let the madness
Really,
begin,
just
right?
let it begin, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So
We've been waiting for this for
I'm
pretty
excited.
much since the
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. You got
yeah.
all
Same
those-
here. Same here. We've been waiting for this since the beginning of the year. So
We need to have a viewing party. It would be kind of fun.
I'm just glad that they're able to play it out.
Yeah, exactly. So 58 teams, man. That's gonna be cool. That's gonna be really cool to follow. So again, let the madness begin. It's gonna be really cool. Really super quick recap if you just joined us. MMA, UFC 259 was ridiculous. It had controversy in it. Again, that illegal knee. Sterling walks out the bantamweight champion. AEW Revolution did not disappoint. The barbed wire match was epic, but the ending sucked. Christian Cage is your legend that came over. The Inner Circle has broken up. NBA All-Star Weekend was absolutely awesome, so I give him the shout out for that. Again, the Hall of Fame candidates were announced for NBA, so we can check those out on NBA.com as well. WNBA, Maya Moore is not returning. That kind of sucks. NFL, biggest story of the week, Dak Prescott, 6 years, 140 to the Cowboys. WWE NXT is going to have not one but two pay-per-views on WrestleMania week. Molly Holly is going into the Hall of Fame, and we have NXT Women's Tag Team Champions now, which I think is cool, and they're currently Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. Joe Frazier got a statue from the upset heard around the world. XFL, CFL have a merger coming. MLB, they're opening up. California, we can go to games, 20% capacity. I'll keep you more in detail when I find out what's going on. In hockey, the Ducks beat the Kings. Kings beat the Ducks. It sounds about right. That's usually what happens. And March Madness. March Madness is on the way. I cannot wait. This week has been awesome, Gilbert. This next week coming, who's going to be the new member in the WWE Hall of Fame? Who's going to win the Cruiserweight title in the Ultimate Cruiserweight match? We got more NBA deals that are possibly going down. Lamarcus Aldridge among many. More baseball. Baseball's on its way. A couple weeks till season starts. And March Madness. That's all I'm going to say.
It's gonna be crazy, man.
It's going to be awesome. I had a great time. Hope you had a great time. I know Gilbert had a great time. Hopefully, again, March Madness Thursday, selection show on Sunday. Make sure you check it out. Also, make sure you wear a mask out there. Please be safe. Enjoy your family. Have fun with your family, but be smart about it. Go out, have a fun weekend. We love you here at the All Sports Media team. We want you to be able to tune in next week and find out what's going on with the March Madness and all the other craziness as we approach WrestleMania and Fastlane and all that craziness. So be safe out there. Enjoy your life. Have a great one. And once again, I got to say it, whether you're trying to score in life or climb the ladder of success, tell them, Gilbert.
Reach for the title, man.
Right. We out. Peace.